I gorged myself all day yesterday on watching news stories, which is really just the sanitized version or the sanitized term for slandering someone or something. And I have to say, I'm quite disgusted by the news reporting of all sorts. Actually, all news reporting. I'm pretty disgusted by it. And I'm going to share an opinion, and of course, I will incriminate myself in doing so because I am taking a cross-section view of society, of humanity, of which I am part of. The only thing that sets one person apart from another is the level of how aware one is of their own self, their own capacity for good and evil. And it's all there. That's why the charge of self-righteousness really does apply to all of us. We function very much from an unconscious place, depending on how manipulated we are by our surrounding. And this starts from the bottom of the pyramid to the top. The more people find themselves together in a support system, the more conformist we are, because the psychological support that we get from our base, the crowd that we choose to participate in, it's like you're standing in the middle and you're surrounded by a million other mirrors that reflect back to you. And you're seeing yourself, the more you see yourself reflected and refracted and duplicated in others, in a number of others, the more right or correct you think you are. But it's only one spectrum, only one fractal of what is visible of your being. I have to be honest, I'm quite disgusted with us humans. On the one level of our hypocrisy, because we live from this unaware state about ourselves. We are unaware of the depths of Satan that we are all capable of. And just because you might not have been tested into those depths doesn't mean you're not those things. Every human being has the capacity to be the most vile person that we can think of. And the reason that we slander and accuse someone else as being vile and think of the grossest kind of labels that we apply to a person that we are most afraid of being like, and we project that label on them. That is the capacity that is in you and me, and we use labels because we are so deathly afraid of that ever showing in ourselves. And so it's easier to point at that guy over there or that person over there, because while I'm doing that, I am deflecting the focus and the light away from me, and I can make myself look like a good person. I can be the devil or I can be a saint, and so can you. The capacity for it resides in all of us. And that's why I am so disgusted with our hypocritical practice of judging other people's for their opinions. All of our opinions are shitty. All of them. You're just too full of yourself to realize it. But if we were to realize and own this dark aspect of ourselves, we might be a little bit more humble about what we say about other people, what we say about other people's views and opinions, especially if they differ from ours. You're not any better than the worst person that you are labeling. You're not. And so I think I would love to see the day when we can own our shit and own the humility to say, I don't have any right to speak about another person in this way or in that way. I don't have any right to demean and to slander them, regardless of their viewpoints. Your viewpoints probably are pretty shitty crazy too. You just had a little bit more tact and care, and you were a little bit more in control of yourself. You were manipulating yourself to not speak of things that are not commonly accepted. So yeah, you haven't been caught red-handed, but you have also not been honest. You're also not being very honest with yourself in denying shadows of yourself that are very much there, even though you deny it. So no, I'm feeling a little bit discouraged about humanity because we don't own our hypocrisy. We will not own it, and yet we display it publicly every day by judging one another as right or wrong or good or bad. We're both. We're right and we're wrong. We're good and we're bad. That should level the playing field. So, I'm speaking to the hypocrites. When are you going to own your hypocrisy? When are you going to own your jadedness? When are you going to own the reality that you are as bad and black and shadowy as the next person. And when do you realize that maybe you shouldn't be talking and pointing out someone else's shadow, at least not without first pointing it out in yourself? We need to become honest. We need to become transparent. And since we're all the same, that should become easier. So, humanity, are you going to step up to the plate? Are you going to do some introspection and own the shadow shit that remains concealed within you? Just because you haven't expressed it publicly doesn't mean it doesn't exist inside of you. Have compassion with yourself, but more so with every other human being. Have compassion, because you very much can be the next vile person that is getting slandered on the news, right? Own all of you. Own all parts of you, the good and the bad. There's no one more righteous and no one more bad. We are all equal. We're all equal.